Hi, everybody. Peace and love. This is Cassandra. Welcome back to another video, another episode of Cassandra's Garden. Today, I'm going to show you how I'm going to make my husband the best yellow cake with a chocolate ganache in the center and buttercream chocolate on the outside. I don't know what it is about men who, it's like every man on the planet loves yellow cake with chocolate icing. Last night we were sitting in the living room, just chilling, just relaxing, and he said, "Babe, I would really love a yellow cake with chocolate icing." So I thought about just making a simple yellow cake, in cupcake form, and then just top it off with some buttercream chocolate icing, of course from scratch. But I thought, you know what? I really want to do something special for my husband because he's so good to me. He is so precious and he is so loving and supportive. And even though that would be good, I wanted to do a little extra because I am extra. My kids tell me all the time, my grandkids tell me all the time, "You're just so extra, Grandma. You're just so extra, Mom." But you know what? A cake like I'm going to make today just tastes so much better than your regular, just bland, just simple cakes. Yeah, they're good, but they're not as good as what I'm going to make today. So I thought I would show you while I was making this cake. This morning while I was in the shower, my son made me some coffee, and it's absolutely delicious. He is so much like his mom. He can cook, and he understands that measurements and temperature are everything, and in order to have an overall great final product. So let's get started. We're going to start out with 2 ounces of vegetable oil. To the vegetable oil, we are going to add 8 ounces of whole milk. Just go ahead and add it in there, like so. And then we're going to add our 3 egg yolks. And 2 eggs. So you're going to need 2 eggs and then 3 egg yolks only. Now to that we're going to add 1 tablespoon, and that's a whole tablespoon of vanilla extract. We're going to take our whisk. We're just going to whisk this up like so. Try not to make a mess like I just did. You don't want none of it really spilling out because our measurements are precise. I pre-measured all of these ingredients so that this video wouldn't take so long. Just had to grab some paper towel. I just didn't want that mess to be there. Okay, now we're going to set this aside. Now we're going to add to our stand mixer 14 ounces of cake flour. Now, I sifted this twice, and every good baker knows that you must sift your dry ingredients twice in order for your final product to bake up a nice sponge and to be delicious. Now, I don't sift salt and sugar. I just find that very redundant, unless it's powdered sugar. So this has been sifted twice. This is 14 ounces of cake flour. I'm just going to toss it right in here to my stand mixer. I'm going to add, and I did sift this and then measured it out, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And this is 1 teaspoon of salt. And 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Just going to add that in there. And then we're going to add 12 ounces of granulated sugar. This bowl may look like there's something on it, and that's because I just simply reused what I sifted my flour in. So that's 12 ounces of granulated sugar. Bear with me one moment while I just put my mess away. Now we're going to set this aside. Now, we're going to, I'm just going to kind of scoot this over here because I really want you to see what I'm doing. I'm going to attach my paddle attachment. Okay, bear with me just one second. I just have to do this really gently so that I don't mess up my lighting. There we go. Now, we're just going to get all of this incorporated. Perf. Okay, now we're going to do what's called a reverse creaming method. Excuse me. It's called a reverse creaming method. We're going to add to our dry ingredients 6 ounces of room temperature butter. Oh, and that reminds me, your milk, your eggs have to be room temperature. That's non-negotiable. So do not skip that step. Go ahead and lay out your eggs. Go ahead and measure out your milk. Lay it out on the counter. Let it get room temperature. That is non-negotiable. What I do, see how pretty my butter looks in all these little bite-sized cubes? When I take my butter out of the refrigerator, I go ahead and measure out 6 ounces. And I cut off what I need, put back in the refrigerator what I don't, and while it's cold, I'll cut it up, set it on a saucer, like this right here, and then I just simply let it get to room temperature. That is the best way to cut up your butter so that we'll have so this will be like a little pebble. It'll have a pebble consistency, like sand. Okay, so at a little at a time, we're going to add our butter to our flour mixture. I'm just going to add, and my hands are clean, so don't worry. I cannot wait to make this for my husband and my children. They are going to love it. And as you can see, you want your butter room temperature, but not melted. But it kind of melts on contact, so let me grab a spoon. That might be better. And as you can see, it's just incorporating really nicely. And what we're looking for is we want our flour and butter mixture to end up looking like maybe like sand, like the consistency of sand. This is very important. This is what's called the reverse creaming method. We're not creaming the butter and sugar. This yields a fluffier, lighter, just better tasting cake all around. And as you can see, it's starting to take form of that little pebbly sand consistency. But like I said, go ahead and cut your butter up while it's good and hard and cold. Cut it up in bite-sized pieces after you measure it, and then just leave it on the counter, and it'll get nice and room temperature. You do not want your butter melted, you just want it soft. Perf. I'm going to have a sip of my delicious coffee that my son made. He always puts a little espresso in his coffee. He learned that from me. But he makes the best coffee. It was so nice getting it up this morning, hitting the shower. I had to do a little cleaning, clean my kitty litter bowl, pan, clean up Wyatt's mess. We're training him to use the pee pads, and I had to do all that, and it was just so nice after I got all that done and took my morning shower. My son was in the kitchen. He made himself some breakfast, and he made me and him a pot of coffee, and it was just so delicious, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Okay, that is perfect. Now, this is what you want. Let me grab a spoon, so I'm not doing it just with my hands. Let me show you. I want to get it close to the camera so that you can see what I'm seeing. That is what you want. That is perfect. I'm going to need the spoon anyway, so. Now, we're going to take our milk and egg mixture. It has our oil in it and our vanilla. It smells so good, by the way. And don't forget, that was 1 whole tablespoon of vanilla. Now, we're only going to add 1/3 of this. I'm going to have to do it this way. So, I'm going to add 1/3. And then we're going to add 1/3 again. After you add the second third, do not skip this step. We have to let this stir for 2 whole minutes. Do not skip that step. So I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for 2 whole minutes. Do not skip this step. This is what helps your cake become very moist. It yields an excellent well-baked sponge. It makes it soft, it makes it velvety, and it makes it very luxurious. So at this point, see, when you get to that consistency, when you add the second part of the 1/3 of your milk mixture, that's when you set your timer for 2 minutes. Now, I've got 1 minute and 26 seconds to go. So just bear with me. This step cannot be skipped. So while that's mixing, how's everybody doing today? I have got so many things that I want to show you, and I'm so excited about it. Now, I do want to let you know I'm going to have to do this video in parts because I do not have any sophisticated equipment, and I don't have an editing system. Like, everything is completely natural. Like, I'm so far behind in having better quality videos. I'm sorry about that. Okay, we've got 48 seconds left. 46, 45. And I'm sorry about that. I'm going to, now that I actually have more time to do that now, I will explain everything in another video. It's very inspirational. You're going to love it. And I will explain how I have more time right now. It's really awesome. It's fantastic. So we got about 20 seconds left. We're down to 10 seconds. We're down to 3 seconds. And there we go. Now, after 2 full minutes, add the rest of your milk mixture. Your milk and egg mixture. Stop. You're going to have to scrape down the sides. Just making sure that doesn't hit my light. Because I'm doing this in real time, so I just want to scrape. You know what? I better get my spatula. And I've got my cats and my dog are right under my feet. They are always in the kitchen with me. They love me. Wyatt literally starts crying when I walk out the door if I don't take him with me places. Unfortunately, I can't take him everywhere with me, or if I'm just in a hurry, I don't take him with me, and he will cry, and so he is right under my feet right now. Then just finish that. It's going to be runny, and that's exactly what you want. This is going to be an amazing cake, and it smells so good already. And it's going to be that beautiful, decadent tasting, and it's going to be a natural yellow. You're not going to add any food color into this. You don't need to. Look how velvety that's already looking. And that's because after our second pour of our milk and egg mixture, we stirred it for a full 2 minutes. Oh, it smells so good. Okay. I'm going to come back in a part 2, and I will be right back. Now, this is exactly what I'm looking for right here, this consistency. So I'm going to let that drain and so that it can go in my bowl. That's exactly the consistency that I'm looking for right there. That is beautiful. That is perfect. Let me show you before I go. That is perfect. This is going to be a very well-baked cake. I'm going to come back in part 2, and I'll be right back. Peace and love.